Hey everybody, it's Conscious Media and Brandon Russ, and we're working on timing today. Pluto, you beautiful planet, and yes, you are a planet. My regards, Neil deGrasse Tyson deGrasse. Never trust a guy with 3 first names. Anyways, I hope you guys are finding this Pluto direct here on October the 8th as kind of a reason to celebrate, maybe? Let's hold off a second here. By the way, Pluto, just a little tidbit of fact, it's about 2.5 kilometers wide. It's not all that big, but it does have 5 moons. And regardless of whatever it is that you think about Pluto, it has more moons than we do, and we must invade. I'm only kidding. I should have a button for that. Anyways, Pluto is actually the ruler of the 8th house. It's ruling planet of Scorpio, and all of the fun stuff that comes along with Scorpio, such as, you know, things like power and sexuality and trying to decide what to have for dinner. It's kind of a thing. But it's also about death and rebirth and regeneration and evolution. That's why Capricorn, making its trip through Capricorn right now, is really important to things like the country, because Pluto in its return takes about 248 years, give or take, depending upon the retrogrades. It actually goes through that only so often, about 250 years. Now, in that time, in a return, as any planet does, whether it be your solar return, also known as your birthday, your Mercury return, your Venus return, your Mars return, Saturn returns, Jupiter returns, so forth and so on. It's a generational planet, but it's almost like 3 generations in one. If every generation is about 75 years, that brings you to north of 250, so about 3.5 generations. Well, Pluto has this influence to make great change. Now, why do some signs feel it more than others? I'm going to explain it here in a second when we bring up the chart. But when Pluto goes direct, it means that you, if you naturally take your power onto itself, it can influence the other planets in a positive manner. Now, does retrograde mean that it's negative? No, not necessarily. Retrogrades aren't necessarily like a negative. Retrogrades aren't negative necessarily, as much as it's kind of like backing over the dump truck, back over the person they just ran over to make sure they got him. That's what a retrograde really is. But I digress. Let's take a look at what's going on the chart on the day. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing and all that other good stuff. I'm going to talk about my tarot class here for 30 seconds because like and subscribe. Join my tarot class. Last day on the flash sale, by the way, guys. I got to let it go somewhere, right? All right. Oh, I'm over here. Look at that. Did you see that? I was over there, and now I'm over here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just glad the sound is on. So anyways, taking a look at what's going on here. Now, we're doing a transit, and I picked one of my favorite spots in the world, Leishkill, New York, as to when it goes direct. Not a big deal, right? But it's 5:56 in the p.m., in the Eastern Hemisphere, in the Eastern time zone here. A couple of things in quick observation. We have Pluto going direct in Capricorn in the 11th house. Well, what does this mean? This is the reason why your friends are ghosting you, guys. This is the reason why you're evaluating your relationships hard and going, what am I getting out of this? You know, the return on energy when we bring somebody to bring them for a cup of coffee is I get to talk to. It's also, when you look for my advice, don't you take some of it? You don't have to take all of it. I don't want to run your life. But if you come to me every single day and you say, I keep making the same mistake and I keep giving you suggestions, and then I mix it up by saying, well, then why don't you just throw the whole thing into the ocean and screw the pooch? And then you're like, how could you tell me to screw the pooch? How about you take some of that advice and run with it? By the way, I've heard this called before. When somebody keeps asking you for advice and they don't actually take it, they're also known as an asshole. All they want to do is justify their bad decisions through your way of life. By the way, this is when it's coming clean with friends and whatnot. And by the way, they might villainize you for it. They might say, you did this, or you act like that. And then you're just like, yeah, well, you didn't actually take my advice, so I didn't find value in this relationship. Be aware of who cuts off and who comes in, right? Now, on a global scale, this isn't just a little bit of chaos. This is your power. Capricorn, all hail. The ruler of Scorpio, or the ruler of Saturn, rather, is about the structure and the components where you're all about making sure you get it right, right? Kind of the mundane and the teacher and the lesson and that sort of thing. Pluto is coming in going, did we get this lesson plan right? Because we're going to do it right. It's actually why it is we've seen so much upheaval since 2008. But listen, help is on the way, because now it's headed full born towards Aquarius. Now, when Capricorn moves into Aquarius, it's actually one of the signs of the age of Aquarius. I have more videos coming up for that. But I want to point out one particular aspect that's going on, and I want to talk about the 3 signs that are going to be deeply affected, sometimes good, sometimes not so good, with this Pluto direct here in Capricorn. So you see my highlighted trine here to Mercury. This is going to allow you to speak your truth. This is a speak your truth kind of thing for your better health. And I'm going to explain. The 11th house, all that stuff that I was talking about with your friends, the 11th house, your external things, the work. By the way, this also kind of has that cusper action going on to the 10th house. I'm not going to go into cuspers right now. Look for that down the future. But the 11th house is kind of this wide open thing of friends and family and acquaintances and the people that you know and the the external, like, the friendship pool, if you will. Well, our Virgo friend with Mercury sitting in it is doing us the favor saying, I'm not going to sit around and listen to you be an asshole anymore. I'm just not. I'm going to let you decide what you're going to do with all of this, but I'm going to pull myself back. Nothing wrong with that, guys. Absolutely nothing. By the way, personal growth happens when changes around you happen. So don't look at it necessarily as a bad thing. Now, I've got a couple of notes here. There are a couple of signs, though, that are kind of going to take it on the chin. Sorry, guys. One of them is actually, believe it or not, it is in Capricorn, probably more so, not because Capricorns have a problem with changing, is that they don't like to change, period, right? So what you're doing, and by the way, their challenge, Capricorns have more of the challenge right there. And by the way, I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to add this in. I'm going to add in a little Capricorn image. I'm going to see if it ends up like right on my face. Yep, right there on my face. Capricorns, ding, 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 ding. You guys are going to have a little bit of a challenge here. Mostly because what this is kind of that truth seeker, that thing of like, you guys really don't like conflict. Let's be honest, Cappies. You're good at it, but when you're at conflict, you come across a little bit cold. By the way, Pluto and Capricorn is like, you're not going to take my power and you can go F yourself. Like, that's just a common thing. Combine it with this trine, with this soft, gentle energy of Mercury about your actions, about your communication, about what you say and how you say it. You're finding your power, Capricorn, and that's the part that's uncomfortable. You're coming into your own. Don't get upset. This is not an upset thing. It's just not an upset thing. All right, so listen, we're going to go ahead and hide this guy here. We're going to do one of these and do one of these. I'm doing these in-time edits because I'm finding that if I do this, if I truly do it this way, oh, I know why this is bugging me. All right. Thank you, Capricorn. Thank you so much for showing up. I really do appreciate you. Capricorn, everybody. How about Capricorn? I really need to get... Thank you, Capricorn. All right, thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's enough. All right, could you wrap it up, please? Okay. All right, there you go. We stalled just enough. Can we stop? Can we stop kind of? There you go. That'll give me enough time to bring up Gemini. Gemini, you've got some challenges here, too. And you know what? I'm having fun with this. Just let me be, guys. I'm really finding my stride with this. So Gemini is also going to have a little bit of a challenge, but for a completely different reason from Capricorn. Now, again, dealing with Capricorn, it's in your sign. That's kind of a deal. But you know what, Gemini? Change is difficult for you, especially when it comes to the conflict part of it. This is what's going to be the challenge for you. By the way, this just looks like sheer depression. Calm down, Gemini. We've got you. A couple of things that you want to do is that you have a tendency of minimizing everything in your mind. Like you're like, oh, it's no big deal. So here's one of the challenges that you have. These are big changes. This is empowerment. So if somebody's speaking down to you or somebody's kind of getting into your grill with this, take a deep breath. Even if you put the pause button on, even if you just say, I can't talk to you about this right now, let me talk to you about it down the road. This astrology technique, and by the way, it is an astrology technique because when it comes up in your chart, you have to figure out tactics and tool. By the way, that's what I do in my readings. Feel free to sign up. Love you guys. The dynamic here for you comes back into full force with Pluto, and it makes the small things into big things. So Gemini, you're going to feel a little overwhelmed. Dare I even say a little depressed? Don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. just buy yourself some time with communication, with clear communication, saying, I'm not willing to make up my mind right now. I'm not willing to have a decision conversation right now. And oh, by the way, I don't need to tell you anything. How about this for Gemini? We're going to go ahead and help Gemini out here with this with a yeah, there you go. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Thank you, guys. Thank you for, sticking it out with me. And the last signal, the last sign will actually kind of surprise you a little bit. And it is our friend right there in the middle of the pack. And again, not for the reasons that you think. We're going to talk about our good friends, our water sign. You want to take a guess? You want to take a guess as I'm pulling them up? I'll give you a little hint. I told you about it earlier. I don't know why I can't bring them up. We're talking about Scorpio, guys. We are talking about Scorpio. Now, the reason why Scorpio has challenges with this right now is because it is the ruling planet. You're getting shakeup here. You are getting shakeup for how it is that you're approaching things. You're getting shakeup with how you want to be, and you're questioning your power base here, Scorpio. That is why this is a challenge for you right now. Scorpio has been moved to another location. Would you like me to search for the file? I don't have enough time for this, okay? Anyways, I'm learning my system. I do stuff on the fly. That's my challenge with this. Stream of consciousness. Mwah. Good night. Now, the other challenge that's going on with this direct for you, Scorpio, is what is going on in the water houses themselves, right? So in your 12th, your 8th, and your 4th house, you got a lot of action in the hopes, dreams, desires, and then the house of the undoing right here. You've got a Jupiter, Neptune square going on here in your 12th house, combined with the full moon. Come on, everybody. Let's not forget the full moon in all of this. And you have this really kind of cool trine going on, but at the same time, it's just, oh, God, it's drama. Scorpio, your challenge in this is no drama mama, right? You just don't want it. So that's why it's a little challenging for you. And by the way, it might be a touch impulsive. It might be a touch kind of like, I'm going to push everybody out of the way and kind of take care of this, myself. And you traditionally love this time of the year, but you're also kind of in the position where when you have these conflicts with your friends and they want a second chance, you're going to be like, no, I gave you a few years, I gave you a few months, I gave you a few cups of coffee, I'm done. Scorpio, you yourself have to calm down a little bit because this energy right here makes you talk when you don't want to talk. You think that there's enough said. And by the way, Scorpio, you love to have the last word. That's a thing. So right now, other people might be getting the last word in. That's the part you're really having trouble with. That being said, for everyone else, this is really kind of a powerful impact thing where you are finding your voice. And by the way, there's something within your sign, Pisces, Aquarius, Sagittarius, that you want to be able to grab onto this and be able to build on it and move forward with. Aries, you have other things in your court, like your full moon, right? Taurus, Cancer, Leo, you are ready to pop. You've been building up to this, right? Virgo, you're ready to tell the world to kiss off, for crying out loud. In Libra, you're ready to say, listen, this is either a yay or a nay, everybody. A yay or a nay. It's pretty important. That's pretty important. So, listen, guys, I want to come to you today, talk to you a little bit about what this Pluto direct means. And I know that this is going to be kind of us moving into a better place overall. And I'm just going to switch sides here, I think. Nope, that's not me. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm talking like 3 videos ago. I really need to get organized. I should probably hire an editor. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for being part of things here. I'm going to give each other the heart tap to love and care for one another. Be sure to click like and subscribe. Be sure to buy the book. It's coming out. It's going to the printer right now as we speak. I'm so excited. My microphone finally works. And it's October, and I'm a medium, and I'm busy as heck. But I wanted to come to you and let you know that when I give you the heart tap, it's because I care and love for one another. And I just want to simply remind you to keep going. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.